Well, good morning, everyone from Memphis, Tennessee. Here on the sim, we are preparing to fly off to Boise, Idaho. Looks like it'll be a pretty uneventful trip, we hope. We'll be in the 767 today from Flight Factor, flying the FedEx colors, and we look forward to getting in the air here shortly. Now, we will be flying on POSCON, but please, folks, join us. We'd love to have you aboard. I'm just setting up one last screen. I'm a little tardy, and I'll explain why here in a second. Um, Testing something new on here. Oh, hang on a second. There we go. Oh, love it when you bring up Twitch and all of a sudden I'm talking. Wow. Anyway, we were trying something new, and it's called Active Cam or X Camera. I only have it right now as a free version. We'll see if we're going to go ahead and register it and all. Right now, I'm a little fuzzy with how certain things are working with it and all. So when I'm fuzzy about things, I don't jump on the bandwagon, as they would say, real quickly. So I'm back to my normal views. So with that, the only bad thing is that means I won't have any wing views to show today like I did with the Zebo and the Airbus. They're there with active camera, but I don't like some of the other stuff that come up too, and that's why I don't have it running right now. So, but right now we're looking at the plane sitting here on the ramp here at FedEx. We are at stand. Let me see. I thought I put it out. No, maybe I did not. Let me. It's not important. So let's hop up in the cockpit here and let's get into it. First thing I am going to do. Sound. Okay, I guess we'll leave those on. Um, just checking my sounds here. Okay, we'll run with that. All right, so what we've got on the ground here, stairs, chocks, loaders hooked up on the first officer side, GPU, as well on the captain side. Oh, excuse me. Again, we have the stairs, the fuel truck, the air conditioners in the back, and the loaders are hooked up. Now, what we're loading on, and let me optimize to make sure we're good here. Okay, we're going to put 9 total pallets on, each at a 9,000 pound rate, to bring us up to our zero fuel weight of 295, 200. I think, looking at my notes, we're actually planned for 690, so that's good. Gross weight will be 348,785 pounds after we uplift the 53,585 pounds. So the CG, as you can see, is 21. So let's hit load. And now the aircraft is loading. That's going to take a little bit. So, and that, folks, is our preliminary aircraft preparation. Once we're loaded, we can actually get rid of everything, uh, um, except for the ground power unit, obviously, and the air conditioner. And I don't know where all the yawns always come from when I start up a stream. But anyway, as you look out the cockpit, you can see we got a fair amount of static aircraft here. Some old, some new, like a 720. Here, we'll just pop out. See, we got a 727 FedEx sitting right next to us. They haven't flown those in a few years. Also, what else? We got cargo jets from Canada. Alaska's here, which I don't think they would be. DHL wouldn't park on this ramp. They got their own spots along with UPS. But anyway, just thought I'd let you get a flavor of what's sitting here waiting for us. Many of these airlines really would not be on this lot. Now, the ABX ones might, but the DHLs, no. So, but anyway, let's get going here. So we've got the cockpit powered up, but let's go through the safety check just to be safe. And that's primarily, first off, what we'll do, hang on a second, since we are powered. I want to come back down. First thing I want to look for is the parking brake. Is it on or off? It is on. You see the light lit right behind it? Next up, we'll look at the landing gear. I've got down indicated, 3 green above it. Now let's go up top. And the battery switch is on. Let's get the guard down to be safe. Once that's on, you turn the standby power to auto. Once that's on, you can then check your wipers, make sure they're off. There's only one switch on this plane for that. Okay. And finally, we're going to connect to the external power, which will show available, and then you just click there. Then you'll turn your bus ties on. They'll switch to auto, and then you're looking for the utility buses to turn on. Just click these switches for your Gen Connects. Do not click these. If you click these, you're going to have to perform maintenance on the aircraft. Okay, and then finally, make sure the emergency lights are armed and guarded, and the guard being down. Okay, that takes care of what we have going on here for the safety check. So the aircraft's good. Now, what I've gone ahead and added to it is I've brought the hydraulic electric pumps on, and I've put the packs and the isolation valves on so that we're getting air in the aircraft. Let me click these. This will turn that noise down as well. Let's get these in auto. All right, and the window heats on. Okay, there we go, folks. Now we're in load up here. Looks like our fuel is loaded. Um, just by looking at this, but we'll check here momentarily. So let's move on and get the FMC set up. So to do that, first set your panel floods. We're in daytime, so the good thing is we're not going to be doing a lot with them. Let's come down though and come over to this side, turn up the panel, and then we can do the same on the other side. Being being daylight, it's hard to tell what's working, what's not. Okay. All right, so looks like it does look like one set of panel lights aren't up all the way yet. There we go. All right, we'll go with it there and we'll get the logo light on. All right, so we got the panel lights set. I don't like looking at a blank screen on the ground, so we'll just light that up. Let's go up to the top. Position, wing, and logo lights are on. Position, oh, we can turn the wings on and logo. And let's go ahead, align nav. For the left IRS, we're just waiting for it to say align, then we'll go to the next. I say that, and sometimes it takes forever. There it goes. Okay, center one. And what I did is I moved this to the status display so I see how long we have. Okay, we're just waiting for it to show in a line. Same with the final third one or the right one. So it's left, center, right. And it should be going to align here momentarily. There it goes. All right, so we have 7 minutes to get our position and initialization started. So what we'll do, come down, and I am going to go ahead and, oh, I did not pull that one out earlier. One thing you want to do in your pre-flight, oh wow, that actually puts the mask on. Cool. Never tried that before. Anyway, so we're into 767F. The airnac is correct. We'll go to position initialize. We are at KMEM. Next page. And from here, we can take the GPS, go here, click here, and there you go. So what we did, hang on, we'll come back. Okay, so here's your ident page, position. We just clicked the line select next to GPS position, drops it down to here. We click this line select, puts it in here. Of course, don't forget to put KMEM. Feel free to put your gate in. I don't because I'm not sure if what I'm putting in is correct or not and what it'll do. So I just leave it blank. Go to route. KMEM was down here, so all you had to do was click here. Okay, today's flight is going to Boise, Idaho, like I said, Kilo, Bravo, Oscar, India. The flight number that FedEx usually will use, there's two that go there. We're going to use 363. FDX 363. And we'll go next. And we're just going to put the route in there, folks. It's not a difficult route. It's got a couple of fixes, but they're all direct, I believe. Well, let me look at another way just to make sure. Yeah, they're all direct. All right, so the first fix up is the end of our departure, which is FOXOM. So we're going to type in FOXOM as in Mike. Put that on the to side. Everything on this flight will be on this side. We won't have airways or anything to put over here. Next is Kilo Kilo 42 Golf. Then next, Kilo Delta 57 Alpha. Then we're going to Kilo Uniform. And then it's Sulu. Wait a minute, I feel like I'm missing one. Oh, I guess I'm not. 72 Sierra. Let me just double check. Oh, I guess I am right. Okay. It's just one of those where I'm thinking maybe not. And always go with that feeling, folks. If you think you're doing it wrong, double check your work. And if you have to triple, quadruple check, 10 times check. Make sure it's in there right, especially real world pilots. Flight sim, we get off course. We're not really going to hurt anything other than our pride when we end up crashing into the ocean because we ran out of fuel. Okay, so progress. Oh, we're not even close to being set. Okay, well, let's go back to the route page. Anyway, like the real airline pilots do. But, you know, there's the end of that. We're not going to get any further, and it's just mind-boggling to me. So what we're going to do is we are going to depart runway 9. So we're going to select runway 9, and our departure is going to be the Summit 5 Foxham transition. Select, 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 execute, and we'll go to route. We'll put 9 in there just so it won't put. All right, well, sometimes it will, sometimes it won't. And we'll save the route. Oh, I got to put a file name. Doggone it. Hang on a second. We'll go, let's see, KMEM KBOI 01. Saved. Okay. Now, you just saw the PFD and these two just changed. That tells us the IRS is aligned. Perfect timing, if I might say so myself. Let's head back up to the top panel. Oh, we got to swing it a little wrong way. And what we're going to do is just bring this back up to position. And there's your position. Back down to here. All right, so let's continue on. So we're going to hit the legs page. We're going to vector off runway 9, which means we're going to be shooting to the east. And we're going to loop around to Stav, STVVV, and then on to Summit, Foxham, and on to our route. So, and the vectors make it look kind of funky, but that's just until we finish things up. So back to route. Let's go to the perf initialization. Before we go there, let's pull down our EFB. And we are done loading, as I kind of assumed when we saw it there. So we'll get rid of the fuel truck. Let's go over to ground, airplane, close these guys all up. And we'll get rid of the loaders. X out. Oh, I did it again, didn't I? Man. And you can see everything's away from the plane. And that constitutes, to me, a walk around check of our aircraft. Okay, so the zero fuel weight's 295.2. Let's see if that's anywhere near what I'm planning. Oh, helps to be using the right mouse. No, we are actually. Okay, cool. And let me get Top Cat up and readied. Okay, TLR, takeoff landing report. Weather update. Yeah, it's still 030. And we're on a dry runway. Correct. We're not going to need anti-ice at 22. All right, so we're set to go there. Okay, for our reserve fuel load today, we are going to, like I said, load out at 100,090 pounds of cargo and 3 people in the cockpit. 295,200 pounds is our zero fuel weight. 53,585 uplifted. That is going to give us a 12.2 reserve, 12,200 pounds. Reason being one, 767, but two, our alternate is, what is the name of this place? Hang on a second. Twin Falls, Idaho? Help me out there, folks. I don't know if that's Montana or Idaho, but anyway, KTWF, and their weather is not is like Boise, clear, 16 degrees, beautiful day going in there. All right, so and then our cruise altitude, 32,000. Cost index, oh, I didn't write that down. Hang on a second. That will be 25. Okay. I want to make sure I write those things down just in case I need them. We'll step climb at 2,000 in case we need to. We're going to move to the takeoff page next. First thing we do here is the winds 030 at 5. Still don't know why they're pushing us to runway 27. I'm going to do an acceleration height of 1500. Basically, the aircraft's going to climb and take off to 1,500 feet. Then it'll nose over into whatever climb we set up or into a more managed climb. Temperature shows 22 and 20. What's that say? 21? 21. We'll go with it. Okay, next page. We'll go ahead, click the CG. Now, getting our takeoff data here real quick. Oh, what are they wanting us to do? 36. Okay, so we're going to put 36 right here. That is our takeoff thrust derating, but I think I'm using the wrong word. It just pulls the power back on the engines to save them so we're not constantly hitting them at full power. So you pull back, it saves the life a little longer. And we're going flaps 5. Let's get the reference speeds on. Let's see how close they came. Then we'll get into our margin. Holy mackerel, that's right. Wow. All right, 147, 153, and well, we're close. So let's click them in. We're going to go with them though. So 147 is our V1. V rotate will be 153 and 160 for our V2. All right, now what I'm going to do here before we get too much further ahead of ourselves, now that the aircraft's loaded, I'm just bringing up the FedEx Express Virtual ACARS program. And we're going to go KEM or KMEM, KBOI, altitude 32000. And I'm putting in the routing right now. Okay, where are we here? Minus K online. Let's come back, click start. Dispatch, click downlink. There we go. Connected, and we should be good to go there. I'm just doing one final check for those of you at FedEx Express. We're getting ready to fly flight for you. There we are on the screen, and there is a whole bunch in and around the Memphis area. Cool. All right, so let me pull that up. All right. So that takes care, folks, of the FMS setup. Let's now translate that over to the MCP, which they don't really call for here. 160 plus 10. There's our V. We'll go ahead and turn the flight directors on. All right, runway heading for runway 9er. Oh, they got us on 36. Okay, my bad. I can switch that, but I'm not going to. Runway heading, because there's another way to find it. Let's go to Sky Vector, Memphis, charts, airport diagram. It is 093. Okay, almost there, folks. Oh, we got to check that now. Doggone it. Okay, so 4. I think we got it right. Yep, we're on auto. Okay. And, okay, altitude is 32,000. This takes a little bit. Yep, I was hoping maybe there was a faster way, but there is not. If you do know one, let me know. I would sure love to know that. Okay, so that sets our MCP up. We'll come to the others later on. Okay, so folks, we've got the FMC, the MCP all set up. We've done our safety check. What I'm going to do now is bring this FMC up, go to progress, then go to climb. Okay, 18,000 is the correct transition level. That's the way I like to put it in. The reason why it says 240, so many VAs out there, you know, you get above 250, the report says error. And either some will gig you, most won't. Oh, excuse me. But 240 will keep you under that usually in your climb. Okay, so we are good to put these away. Let's go and get this cockpit prepared and get ready to go. So left and right yaw dampers on. Left and right engine, electric engine connects. That is these guys, guarded and in normal. C1, C2 on. Here's your C pumps. They're the electrics. 1 and 2 are on. The rest are off. We'll put our demands in auto. Okay, passenger sides. Well, I should have had the no smoking on while we were that, but there's only 3 of us, so this really is kind of useless. In cargo mode, mind you. Cabin, let's see, we missed the bulk. This is your cargo heat, folks, aft, forward, and bulk. So the one in the back of the plane on the first officer side, one in the front on the first officer side, and there's actually another door right on the left-hand side, on the pilot side, captain side, if I'm going to be that way. Okay, so as we come down, okay, today is a even day, so we'll be on the even numbers for takeoff for altitude and our igniters. Now I don't know. Field elevation 2872. Now I like the way they set this at 2000. So it's halfway to the high altitude fields that I've gone to. What was it again? 2872. So you're 100 feet off. Sorry, folks. There we go. And so that helps. I kind of like that. When you're in the lower fields, like most of the United States, it's rough. You got to go all the way down into the, less than 1,000. Okay, so you want to now check your cabin chart lights, dome lights. Okay, Coming down the next column, make sure we've already done this. Our what are they calling these? Oh, they just say forward cab, mid cab, aft cabs are 12 o'clock at auto. Trim air is on. Left and right recirculators are on. Cabin temp set to auto. I've got the packs on, so we circulate air. Left and right isolations are on. And we've also got the middle one for when the APU comes on. Actually, right now we're on the outside air conditioning unit. So what we need to do now, let's get our fuel pumps on. We don't have, now, this is one thing I wish a lot of aircraft did. Put the fuel gauge up here by your pumps. Makes it a heck of a lot easier to find out what has fuel in it. Okay, you don't have to turn the center ones on because we don't have fuel in it. All right, we don't have to turn the anti-collision light on to fire up the APU. That's only the main engine. Your outboard lights on your wingtips are enough to tell people, hey, the plane's energized. So with that, let's start the APU. The APU is right under your electrics panel. Go to on, then start. If you want, come down to the middle panel, click status. You can see that it's spooling up. And I think it goes pretty realistic here, folks. It takes a little bit to fire up. Now I've added a few things to this, and you can do that from the tablets. And while we're waiting, I'm going to go ahead and just get some things a little better that I like. Okay, we're at 78%. Let's come back up here. We'll move it to on. It's almost fired up. Now you can see your bulk cargo temperatures right here. You can also see your fuel flow rates, your brake pressure temperatures, brake pressure. How about brake temperatures, heat temperature wise? Now you're 100%. All right, so with us fired up, let's go on to the gen. Get the APU bleed on. So now we've got this line set up. And we can now come off external power. You're going to get this as it's flipping along. Does not look like we screwed anything up. Good. Okay, what we're going to do is pull the tablet out. Go to ground. We can now get rid of this and this. So all we should see outside are the stairs and the chocks, as well as the main door into the aircraft still open. So let's go do it, shall we? While we're going, I'll kind of point out some things. That bulk compartment is right here. It's that, I don't know if you can see the little door or not right here, but that's what that's for. Coming around to the nose, let me come back out. It'll take a little bit. Sorry, the thing's in the way. Main door's still open. There's the air stair, so we leave that hooked up. Chocks are still in. GPU's gone, loader's gone, cargo doors are down. So we're good to go, folks. All right, so that, folks, brings us into the pushback. And with the pushback, we are going to do a departure brief. So stand by. Yep, I had a feeling. Let me, before I bring it over, get re-signed into NavGraph. God, I don't know why it keeps wanting me to do this now. Okay. All right, and Wow, I did not put, I am, really? Wonder why it's not, oh, there we go. Interesting on this. We're going on a departure to that one. And I'm just going to go ahead and get my stuff set up for Boise. Okay, so we got that all set up. Sorry for that, folks. And okay. All right, so now we can bring this over. And again, there it is. All right, there is Sim Toolkit. We are going to do our best to not forget it again, folks, like we did the last 767 flight. Okay, so looking here at Sim Toolkit, we're at Memphis. We're going to be up here in the massive cargo area for FedEx, and their maintenance is here. UPS is here. I'm not sure where DHL, if they come in here or not as well. But anyway, we're up here. It's 822, I believe, which stand we're in. Like I said, it doesn't matter. Pick a spot. If you're an X-plane, be careful. But yeah, try to stay away from there. But if you end up there, slide over. But anyway, we sure love to fly with y'all, though. So if you want to come up, we're in Memphis. Grab a plane, and we're ready to roll. Okay, so from here, we'll taxi out. We'll kind of zoom in, taxi down to Victor, over to November, and away we go on runway 9. Here's your frequencies. I can flip it around. Here's the frequency page here for them. 118.3 is going to be our frequency. We'll show that down here. We have not gotten a squawk off POSCON. I'm not sure why. 16. That would be why. We're just now getting to where I set us up for our departure. Believe it or not, with what I set up, we're actually early. But anyway, here's the rest of our frequencies, folks. We'll only be using 118.3 while we're here at Memphis. Once airborne, we'll switch to 123.450 for en route guard channel in case ATC comes up, and then 122.95 into Boise. And that's if I remember. All right, so now the zoom alt departure, since we are doing the departure brief. Okay, so again, across the top, you've got our frequencies. We're only worried if they have ATC. They do not. Airfield's 341. And of course, being in the US, it's 18,000 feet on the transition. Okay, we're required to DME, IRU, or GPS. All of that for the most part we have. RNAV 1, we got that. Takeoff 927 is radar required. The rest you can kind of read here. But basically, the procedure for runway 9, we'll climb on 093 to 860. Then we'll continue on that climb to 5,000. We're going to go ahead and go all the way up. We don't have really any reason not to. And we're going to vector ourselves to ST triple V. Then we'll fly on our depicted route. So we're basically just doing right here. And our top altitude's 5,000. But like I said, we're going to just go on. So let's pull back just a little. So what this is showing is we're going to come off on a heading of 093 like the directions say. I got them right below down here at the bottom. At 860, we just continue on 093 until vectored to ST triple V. From ST triple V, it's to Zumit, then to Foxham. Zumit is like 4 miles away. Foxham is like 10 miles after that. So about 13 miles will then be turning on course. All right, so there you go, folks. That is our departure brief as what we have in the cockpit. Then you can kind of see here with our. Whoop, I didn't mean to. Let's put that back. But here is our route heading up towards Boise. Let me pull this back. And real quick, we don't need this page. Here it is again. You can see all the way to Boise. This is Sim Toolkit, folks. We do have a batch of rain way south of us, so that won't be affecting us, and the rest of the way is clear. All right, so let's pull Sim Toolkit out of here. And to wrap up the departure brief, V-speeds again, reviewing. Let me pull up the box here so we can look at it. 147 V1, 153 V rotate, 160 is our V2. We'll climb out at 170 on a heading of 093, and at 860 feet, we'll continue on until vectored to our arrival. Clear as mud, I take it, right? Actually, it's not that hard of a departure. So we are going to move into the pushback phase. For the pushback phase, now we close all the doors. So we'll pull out that tablet. And for those of you in X-plane with this plane, it's actually a plug-in. Come over here to ground. Let's go to the airplane first. Close the door first. Give it a couple seconds, then remove the stairs, then the chocks. Now let's call our pushback. I use better pushback, but I'll click Start Pushback. Okay, it is pretty simple from here. Take your little airplane, put them where you want. I say that. Hang on a second. There it goes. Now it's turning. Usually it does that right off the bat. That's why I was a little taken aback by it. All right, so we'll go about right there and enter. Okay, so while we wait on the tow, we have the chocks removed and the brakes set. Ground equipment is removed. While we're waiting, let's look outside the plane. Okay, chocks you can see are removed. All the ground equipment doors are now all closed. Okay. Now, the most critical thing for getting this plane started, make sure you turn these packs off. Make sure you have fuel pumps on. Those are the two most critical things. If neither of those are met, it won't start. Okay, and then we've got the tow vehicle. We'll go ahead and hit the beacons. And when he tells us to, we're going to release the parking brake. While we're waiting on him, let's review down here. Let's do it this way. It's a little easier. 118.3. Making sure here. Yep, 118.300. That's our common traffic here at Memphis. This is our guard in the air. Everyone should know 121.500, who's a flight simmer for some time. Otherwise, this is where your primary emergency channel is. And then here's our other Unicom. Hang on a second. And you want to pull this up, move this a couple to make sure it's active. Make sure your weather radar is in test. And we'll go ahead and come up here. And we are squawking at the time 2000. We have not been given our squawk yet. So there we go. Huh, look at that. We just got it. That's what that ding was. 1545. Just in case I get busy, I always write it down. Okay, so 1545, we'll go ahead and set that while we're pushing, even though I could be starting engines. All right, there we go. Let's go ahead and crank up an engine here. So first thing I want to do is take this from status to the engine page. There we go. Again, make sure the packs are off. Fuel pumps are on. Okay. All we're going to do is take an engine selector, and I'm going to come back out of the plane. We're going to go to ground. Just come down here, and I'm going to kind of zoom it in a little. We're watching our number 2 engine build up here. And at 20% N2, move your fuel condition lever on the right side to run. You're going to hear it firing up, and you'll watch the EGT climb. Everything's climbing. Okay, parking brake set. And we're just watching, folks. That's the sign you've switched over to generator number 2. And you notice none of your, everything's still good. Okay, we are stabilized. So what I'm going to do, come back up here. Then we'll come back down and watch it spool up. We're at 15%. I'm curious. And thanks for flying with Mike, Mr. Tow Driver. All right, so one thing, if you noticed, when we were firing up, there's a red line that'll show right about in this area. When it crosses that, folks, that's when you can hit the engine. It gets a little cheater, if you will. Okay, while we're waiting for the spool up, I'm going to double check we're on ACARS. And we are. Let's see what all we have going on here besides me. Nothing. Got one heading to Tokyo, and we got one heading to Frankfurt, and then there's little old me going to Boise, along with several others. Okay, and we should be about stabilized. Hang on. Hope I didn't miss him. I did. Oh well. Okay, he had our pin. You don't want to continue on till you see it. I was making sure we were up and running on that. So let's go back to POSCON. I want to make sure we're on the map and no ATC. Okay. Okay, roger that. Okay. All right, folks, so let's move on to the after engine start. So we've got the parking brake set. Tow vehicle has been sent away. Up to the upper panel, left and right engine pumps can now be turned on. Anti-ice as required. Left and right pack on to auto. Apu bleed off. Engine bleeds on. If you notice, that's why this went down. That should have been bleed valves, then that. And I skipped over it. That was my bad. I just happened to notice it was in the proper positioning. I just didn't do it right. Okay, so then we can now shut off the APU and turn off the generator. Now, if it flickers when you do that, folks, more than likely you're off electric power. You're going to have to reestablish. Okay, so that takes care of getting us started up in the after start. Let's do the before takeoff or before taxi. Before taxi, we're going to set the auto brake to reject takeoff. Taxi lights will come on momentarily. Let's set our QNH. QNH here is 3021. So let me zoom in for these old eyes to be able to see this. It's kind of high today. I've said this a couple of times out there. One thing to make sure you're pretty close on your altimeter is if your elevation here is pretty close. Like right now we're running at 60. Well, you have to interpolate to get 61. I think it's 61, 361 out of it. But you get the thing. If you're close, you're almost right on target. That's that altimeter. Now to set the other one, you got these screws that go around the altimeter. Well, this one will have an arrow on it. Click on it. If you hit and look at the other side, you'll see you're already set. So now I'm just going to come in and look at the one down here because this one doesn't change. Okay. All right, so continuing on, left and right VOR DMEs up here on the MCP, both should read auto. Flight directors should be on. MCP set, and again, V speeds, V1's 142, rotate 153, 2 is 160. There's our 170 in the IAS, 093 for our initial heading, 32,000 for our altitude. Now we want to set our stab trim. The easiest way to do this, folks, and I don't know of any other way than to do this, is, first off, look at your, we'll just pull it out and we'll bring it down. Look at your FMC. On takeoff ref, you're going to have your V speeds, but right here next to CG is your trim, 4.5. And that will help you in the takeoff. We'll set it about right there. And then put it away. Okay, so while we're down there, let's set the flaps to 5. Again, that's right there. And we set that. DH is at 200. Range to 20. Mode on map, both of them. Let's see, terrain and weather off on both of them. Also, see if we can click and get rid of those. Nope, I was trying to get rid of the rings. We will set the weather radar to weather. But we're going to first check our flight controls. So left, it's on the status page, folks. You're just wanting to make sure it snaps back to center. Up, down, then again left and right. Okay, hydraulic quantities look good. Pressures look good. APU is off and oil pressure looking good. Brakes look good. We're ready to go to that panel. We can turn our weather radar on. To weather right here. And yes, folks, it does display weather even using the default weather. It may take a lot. Okay, hang on. What's going on up here? I'll be honest, that's the first time I've ever had to set those. Okay, so when you do a check, make sure. Now we'll do a recall. Cancel. Recall. Okay. Parking brake off. We're ready to taxi, folks. Flaps are at 5. And then all we're going to do is turn our taxi lights on. All right, here we go, folks. Even without the pre-flight brief, it still took me an hour. All right, well, we're trying. We're trying everything we can to speed things up here, especially when we're on a 4-hour flight. All right, and clear of him. And let's take a look outside the plane. All right, folks. Well, we are at the end of the runway. And we're going to be holding short. We'll do a quick check here. And then we're heading out. Also, with POSCON, folks, make sure you set a push to talk button, be it on your keyboard. I can't seem to get any of them on my throttle stick to work. So you may have to be stuck with a keyboard on that one. Okay, parking brakes on, speed brakes off. Speed brakes, this lever right here. Flaps set to 5. We'll get the lights on as we enter the runway. MCP on. Auto throttle on. Transponder set TARA. We'll double check from the top here. TARA. Frequency set. And we are ready to go, folks. Memphis traffic, FedEx 811 heavy at runway 9 departing. Summit 5 departure. Okay, parking brake off, strobes on. That is the one that says white up here. Okay, and we are moving again. We might try playing with the X camera once we're airborne. Hoping that won't screw. If it screws the flight up, well, it is what it is then. this is the last flight for this week that I'll be flying. Um, I'll be on a 48-hour shift starting at 7:30 in the morning tomorrow. Hope you all enjoy your weekend. Okay. The reason I'm wanting to really get this plane stopped as quickly as possible, we didn't discuss margins, and I wanted to wait till the end of the runway. Folks, we've got I believe it's just under 9,000 foot runway. Huh. First time. Anyway, we're going to have 29 feet of it left if things work the way it says. All right, so now a couple things. I showed you one short key or short click area. This one for the MCP or the altimeter on the other side. This screw right here next to speed, that's your toga. Those of you guys familiar with PMDG, um, same thing. Click one of the screws and you get toga out of it. I hope y'all aren't hearing that dog barking, but it is what it is. All right, so brakes on, here we go. Throttling up to 60%. And basically what I do is I take it right to where you see the needle. All I got to do is see that it's right off the bottom, half circle on the top ECAM. I'm now at stabilized. Here we go. Lights are on, toga. And you can see the thrust. She just went to toga. Here we go. And I'm going to give it just a little bit of forward pressure. .80 knots. Okay, I'm going to center the stick. There's V1. Rotate. Nice and easy, folks. We're pretty close to the end. Okay, and a little bit more trim up to get her off the ground. Gear up. Kind of fly your director right now. Again, 1,500 feet, we can bring the nose down and start accelerating. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and click on the autopilot. All right, so here we go. As you can see, we're past the first F, so we can go to flaps 1. And we're just now crossing the second one. And I am going to take us into climb 2, which will pull our power back. And now I'm going to initiate my turn. And I'm going to go out a little further. Now we're through 3,000 feet, folks. Now the big thing, I know a lot of guys out there will get up there and get those taxi lights off. Folks, don't worry about them. Once they get into the gear well, okay, so they're on, big deal. However, there's a micro switch, I've been told, that once the gear stows in, it trips the micro switch to turn the light off inside the bay, even if that switch is on. When it comes out, that switch is active, so the light is on. Okay, let's go to flaps up, and we are. So let's run an after takeoff check here real quick. So the landing gear is up and off. Auto brakes are off. Flaps are up. And we are on our way, folks. Okay, so what I'm going to do now, let's turn to heading 270 for now. And I'm going to bump it out one more notch. Let's go ahead and turn traffic on. You can see one there. And let me go to this view. We'll put terrain on this side, weather on this side. Okay, and again, we want to go direct to XEGEMENT, which is this fix right here. So let's adjust. All right, cleared direct XEGEMENT, FedEx 811. All right, and go to LNAV, and that'll clear us on even more direct. There we go. And that's how you fly that kind of a departure, folks. One thing I didn't check, and I should have. Oh, my bad. Wrong button. Okay, before takeoff, flaps. After takeoff, landing gears up, flaps up. And we're just using it right here. Okay, so we are on our way, folks. Airport should be right there. Okay, get back in here. We're at 9,900 feet, or I'm sorry, 9,000 feet. Almost to the magical 10,000, so we're going to go ahead and start turning lights off. And what I am going to do, give me one last METAR from here. $30.21. Okay, so nothing's changed. She's accelerating up to 300. Lights are off and 30.21. Okay. So folks, we are now in the climb out of Memphis. 10,000 feet, the lights are off. At 18,000, we will click standard on our heading or altimeters, which we don't have that button, folks. If we do, I'd sure love to know where it's hiding. We go to standard. So to do that, you'll just dial them 2992. Most other places in the world, 1013 on the hectopascals, which, as you can see, you have right here. So you can really, whatever they tell you, put it right there. This one sets your altitude. So there you go, folks. We are on our way. Let's again take a look out as we cross over the Mississippi River. One thing I don't like a lot about X-Plane is they really don't. They do great sceneries in mountains and other places, but when it comes to the cities, they fall flat on their face. There's a pyramid here that should be modeled. Uh, Pretty known to people what Memphis looks like. At least I see the island here where I used to pick up and deliver quite a bit of steel and stuff right in here. But for the most part, cities and iconic monuments like Eiffel Tower, stuff in London, the Gateway Arch, the pyramid here, and other places just seem to get squat. So that's my only gig, really, of the scenery engine here in X-Plane. But beyond that, they do, for the most part, a fair job. So, but anyway, there you go. The 767 is headed out of Memphis. We are actually early. I had this one set for a 1640 Zulu departure. We're already over in Arkansas and it's only 1630 Zulu. So, folks, we're doing not too bad. But that was also planning a whole different setup. So, I got late because of playing with X camera. We're gonna maybe, like I said, play with it here later, but I don't know what it's like turning it on out here. So let's hop back into cockpit here, see what that was all about. And where are we on our power settings? We'll go ahead and wash them out into climb. Set our trim back to neutral. Let her climb. And with that, folks, we'll see you after top of climb. Okay, well, I think I just went through the entire arrival brief on mute. Man, I'm just batting 1,000. Hopefully someone's out there can let me know if I did do the arrival brief on mute. We're going to do it real quick here. I'm just going to bring up the FMC side by side with it, um, so we can talk it through one time again, just so everyone's up on it. We'll keep the music in the background at a little bit lower rate. There we go. Okay, so as you can see, you've got the arrival. Okay, so reaps were at or above 24,000, sold at or above 19,000, Durso at or above 14,000, court at or above 12,500. Okay, so let me switch into legs. We've got the whole route approved. So there's our 24, 19, 14, 12, 5. All set, good to go. Okay, let me click the next page. Okay, so as we continue on, bowls at or above 9,900 feet. Where it gets a little interesting is EREXE at or above 9,600 feet, but we got to be no faster than 250. Same with LITL at or above 9,000 and at 250. And those two match up. From there, we're going to be tracking the ILS 28 right to Jolte. That's 13 miles out. The ILS itself is, hang on a second, IAAD 110.15, final approach course 282, glide slope or either on glide slope or at 6,000 feet, it's ZIXIP, and then our decision altitude is 3121. Please remember, this is 2,871 feet above sea level. So these numbers are a lot higher than you're probably used to. That's 250 feet AGL. From Jolte to ZIXIP to wind up to the runway. Gives you an idea of how that'll look. Pappy's on the left. There's our decision altitude. We also have to have a minimum of 3/4 of a mile visibility. And looking at the METARs, we're still showing 300 here. The last one I got was as of 1853. We're going to close up, see if that's maybe updated. No, it has not. Oh, no, it's not. It's only been about 10 minutes ago, 20 minutes ago. So the winds are calm, 10-mile visibility, clear. So I'm not sure. Let's see if this one's updating now. So that way you all get it. There it is. So now it's updated here as well. All right, so all of this is met, so we don't have to worry about any problems with METARs. Here's the missed approach information. And again, this tells you what side the Pappies are on, left. Okay, so pull this out a little. And you can see where we are in relation to where the star starts. We still got a PIH to go by, then we start in. Now, we've run the ACARS program. We're going to rerun it just for safety. We're getting flaps 30. Pax will be on. Air conditioning will be on. Anti-ice will be off. Altimeter is 3012, and I believe that is in the METAR I just pulled up in the chat room, as well as the wind and temperatures. According to the ACAR company, we are going to be landing with a VREF of 144. 149 will be our approach speed. We've got a, let me take a look at that. That doesn't look right. 10,000 foot runway available to us. We need at least 5,800 feet required. And we're going to have, see, this doesn't add up. That's 11,000. 400 feet with the margin added in. Unless we're going landing distance actual will be 3,500 feet. That'll be good if I actually hit it. And we'll be on a break 3 arrival. So again, VREF is 143, approach 150. We'll call it, make it simple. Once we're on the ground, you should be seeing this. Let me make sure. Oh, you are not. Okay, well, we're not going to go over the 4th time. We're going to be coming into a right, exiting at either Echo or Golf. We'll taxi to the ramp, parking in here. As you can see, the exploded, if we're able to come off at Echo, we'll just come right down to Delta and then in that way. It's going to be a tight turn into here, but we'll be able to make the turn. Real quick so you can see the rest of it, here's the ILS. I'll even zoom it a little bit so you guys have a chance to read the top. And then visualize the approach. Finally, here's the star, Reaps, Sold, Durzo, Court, Bowles, ER, EXE, Littell. Okay, and here's where we are on the live map for Sim Toolkit. I'm going to switch into the flight plan, zoom down a little, try one more. There we go. And finally pull that away. And folks, we are now currently $76 miles out. So let's do our 80 miles from top of descent checks. And they go as follows. Auto brake. We're setting to 3. Seat belts. We're going to go to auto once we get down around 20 to 8, anywhere between 20 and 15,000. EFIS control panel set to the charts. Okay. All right, and ILS pedestal will set for the frequency. $110, $15, and $282. Okay, folks, and then we'll set our initial descent here momentarily. We're going to drift in a little closer. We're going to get under 40 at least. So, and I do apologize if we have a lot of noise in the background. Our recycler just doesn't know how to pull his foot off the gas. Something tells me he's related to the guy that hit our mailbox a few days ago. All right, so I want to make sure. There we go. Okay, and real quick to recap what we've done so far. Auto brake 3. We've got our ILS set here. DA set here. We're using the above ground. All right, folks, let's get outside for one last look at the plane as we fly over some of the high country of the Rockies. And all right, we'll try it again, folks, but I just don't know how to switch easily between these guys. We're not going to turn on X camera. Okay, so top of descent is showing up now on our nav display. Okay, for approach, that's approach, so we'll get that later. We're about 45 miles out, I'm thinking. Cut close, 49. All right, so okay, so we are over the Rockies now. Welcome to everyone to the channel. Hope you enjoy what you see and what we're about to do. We're about to make a run into Boise. Okay, I'm going to set our descent altitude. Let's see, per the star. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get this set up for the arrival and see what we can do here to get in. Okay, looking at, we are 18 miles out. Again, just remember we stair step our way down. As we look at the legs page, we're going to go 24, 19, 14, 25, 99, or 9,900 to 9,000. So, all right. So I am going to, again, not worry about it. We're set to auto anyway on our seatbelts, so they're set to go. Auto brake is set to 3, EFIS panel set, ILS panel set, and initial descent altitude is set. Ten miles. Okay, we're going to pause here momentarily while we wait for the descent to occur. Once it does, we'll be bringing her into Boise, Idaho. 4 miles away. Okay, that way you all can see the exact amount of nautical miles. Boom, airplane should nose down, power and back. I'm going to go ahead and bring my throttles back as well. Okay, folks, we are into the descent. 123 nautical miles away, 123. So we'll see you as we begin to get in a little closer. Okay, folks, we are getting in close here. I don't think we've crossed court just yet. We're coming up on it in about 2 miles. And then we'll begin our slowing process. We're going descending quite well. 9,000 by Littell. Then we're vectors for 28 right. I don't know why I keep calling it active camera, but it's X camera, and a lot of it I don't like. I'm going to have someone that's very fluent with it to help me understand how to make things not look fake. And I'll give you a real quick example. This right here is fine. But when we go to this view, that just looks horrid. And likewise, the other side. Of course, I can't do anything about this crap on it, but I mean, that right there looks good. I set that one. Not too bad. Oh, I didn't know I didn't move that. Hang on a second. That's why I couldn't find it. Ooh, which one do I like? Okay, so we just crossed EXL. So let's get out of playing with this so we don't mess up our arrival. Okay, we are now heading for the approach. And I am going to silence our music. Okay, there's Littell. We're going to come down now to believe it was 6,000, 6,300. Or 250. Okay, so let's get into the approach. Okay, the approach brief at 10,000 is transition level. We passed. 31.2. Okay. Landing lights. Okay, localizer is alive. Okay, kind of got the runways, I believe, in sight. Lights are on, speed brakes as required. Okay, we just captured the localizer. All right, and we're going to drop this down, turn the terrain radar off. Also going to go ahead and turn off weather radar. We don't need those on. And we're going to hit the glide slope. Glide slope has been achieved. And we're leveling off. Runway, I believe, is dead ahead. All right, we are very slow and slowing. Okay, we're going to set 180. Okay, we're flaps full. Okay, speed brakes are deployed. All right, folks, we landed at 175 feet a minute. We'll take it. right, there's 80. Well, we made golf. Okay, let's clean the aircraft up. After landing, autopilot's disengaged, flight directors are off. Auto brake is off. I had that turned off, I thought. I'll be a son of a gun. It turned back on. Makes me wonder, did the other one? Ah, there's where it came on at. Okay, so as we taxi in, speed brakes and auto brakes are off. All right, Apu Bleed is on. Landing lights off. All right, let's just taxi our way on down here, folks. Okay, we can put the transponder to standby. And okay, flaps are going all the way up. Transponders to standby. All right, so all we got to do is finish the checklist up here momentarily. And it looks like our spot right there. I would have never guessed Dubai flew into here. Wow. Not. Okay, we'll go ahead and get the gen on. We're going to be going into spot 7. Okay, we are in the stand, folks. Welcome to Boise, Idaho. Final checks are going on right now. We're going to just make sure APU bleed is on, APU running, and shows running, and the gen is on. Okay. Parking brake is set. We can now go down to here and click off our selectors. Selectors, I now know what they were talking about. We're up here. Okay. Fuel pumps off, but one for now. Hydraulics off. All right, let's get the aircraft ready to unload. So we'll get the chocks in, GPUs in place. And the loader unit, there we go. And then we'll switch over to here to airplane. We'll get the main door open. Okay, now if you watch back to where the purple is here, you'll see the bulk door open. I think these doors are modeled kind of small. I could be wrong though. I would have swore these doors stretched into the over to here some so that they could use a standard loader to get the containers in and out. Again, I could be wrong. I haven't seen one in a long time at the airport. But let me go back to the ground and we're going to start unloading. Okay, so folks, we have arrived at our destination of Boise, Idaho. Sorry for it being such a long flight. It's going to come in at 4.3 hours, and FedEx has us landing at 125 feet a minute. So, like I said, we'll definitely take that. Didn't have any guesses on it, including myself. So we hope you all enjoyed the flight out here. We learned a little about the X camera program, but we really haven't learned enough to where I trust it to be able to fly with it. So for now, we're going to keep it off. But in the future flights, maybe at least a half a dozen or more before I get comfortable with it, because I want to be able to select the cameras I want without having that mini thing down here. And by that, let me show you what I mean for those who may have just joined us. Did I enable it? Okay, love this picture that I set up. But in order to switch, I got to come down here and go to this way. That's a nice picture. Again, that one's good. That one's good. That one's great. I like that one. And I like that one. But I don't like how I have to shift it because now y'all are seeing this, and I don't want that to be part of this process. I want to be able to switch them like I do when it's not enabled. But for now, folks, this will you know, do the job. We thank you, as always. If you liked what you saw, you'll see a follow button. Go ahead, click that. That'll let you get an email if you got your notifications on, letting you know the next flight Mike is making live. When I click start stream, you'll get an email shortly thereafter with where we're going. But I will warn you, if you do it today, don't expect one till at least Monday, if not Wednesday. Reason being, I am getting ready to go on a 48-hour shift tomorrow morning, so there will be no flying over the weekend. So we'll see you hopefully Monday. Monday's flight, I believe, is a tad bit shorter. I'm pulling up the schedule right now. What I've got planned, and we're going to be putting this in the Twitch schedule as well as on our Discord channel. Let me pull that channel up for y'all so you can see that. And see right there, it's kind of irritating me because when I get down here to bring this up, it's bringing that up as well. So kind of irritates me. And it's still up. There we go. So there you go. You've got the Discord channel. So you've got those two ways. And I try to keep Facebook up to date, but I'll be honest, a lot of times that one I totally forget. So just going to kind of zoom in. Hang on a second here. I want to. Oh, great. Come on. There we go. Get up to about the size of a human. And then there's things like walking around. I mean, I don't have it registered, so that may be why some of this isn't looking good to me. But right now, it doesn't look very functional for me as a streamer. And I know you guys who stream use it religiously and love it. I'm just not seeing it right now. So, hey, feel free to put it in the chat box. I'd love to know. This will be up on YouTube here sometime in the next week or two. Feel free to put it there. I do look at everything, and if need be, respond. If not, take whatever y'all tell me. So, but again, the next flight is scheduled for Monday, barring me being exhausted from the 48-hour shift. Now, granted, we do get to sleep there. Don't think it's all out unbearable. We do get some sleep time. But we'll be flying right from here, Boise, over to Oakland. And that's about an hour and a half flight. And we'll be using this aircraft again as well. So that's just a heads up of what's coming. So y'all have a great day. We thank you for flying with Mike. And if you do like what you've seen, please click follow. That way you can follow along with us. So for now, we're going to say adios. Y'all enjoy your weekend. And we'll see y'all hopefully Monday. God bless and have a great weekend.